Oh, hello. Oh, look what time it is. 3:10 in the morning. Perfect time for late night stories with me, Evan Mao. Tonight, we have a special one for you. A Long Way Gone by Ishmael Beha. A Long Way Gone is a personal narrative written by Ishmael Beha explaining his life as a 12-year-old boy living through the civil war of Sierra Leone. At the age of 12, Ishmael and his friends were all abducted by an enemy militia, forcing them into the life of a child warrior. Ishmael uses juxtaposition of light and dark to represent good and safety and evil and hell. Here, we're able to take a closer look at the text from the story. In this section, Ishmael and his friends are all walking to a neighboring village in which they have never been before. Ishmael notices that when he enters the villagers are very kind to them. The villagers then invite them to join them in their festivities of eating and dancing. Upon leaving the village the next morning, the four children walk across two elderly villagers sitting on their front porch. Upon passing these villagers, they say, "May the spirit of the ancestors be with you, children." The sun was slowly rising and had begun casting shadows on the huts and houses. Now, this is very important because the sun represents the light. Now, this light then represents safety. And these ancestors are wishing the children safety on their travels because they know that it's not safe with the civil war going on. They're also very kind to the kids, although they've never met them before. They give the kids a place to sleep until they travel the next morning. The next morning, they walk into a village, which is much darker and is deserted. As you can see, the pots were moldy, and the place was located in the middle of nowhere. Now, this is a lot more sinister than the previous village that they were in. This is actually foreshadowing when they were captured by the enemy militia. This is interesting here too. On the river floated a deserted canoe. Now, Charon, who is the god of reaping souls and bringing them into hell, actually uses a canoe. So he will be at the gates of hell with a canoe, and he will drag you down into hell. Here in this section, Ishmael is cooking with his family at his house, and then the enemy militia comes. Ishmael is cooking dinner, and it's getting darker outside. As soon as the dark sets in, the moon wasn't in the sky and the air was stiff. Ishmael was cooking, and all of a sudden he heard a shot. Rapid gunshots. Now this obviously is not safe to be in, and the darkness represents both evil and hell. And the evil of the gunshots and the rebels finally coming into the town signifies that this is no longer a safe place for Ishmael and his family to be in. Due to some technical difficulties, this last section will be posted on the studio's TV. In this last section, Ishmael and two of his friends are being transferred to another section of the camp in which they have never been before. They're kind of hesitant because they were picked from a line of child soldiers, and at random they were told to follow the man and follow him into the truck and leave the village. So in the first part here, we can see that it says it's getting dark outside. And as we know, darkness is a symbol of danger and evil. And as the truck is moving down the road, it is galloping and then heavily shifts and turns off the road and shakes as if everything was placed in a vibrating machine. This went on for a few minutes and then we stopped. So at this moment, they know that they were no longer on a main road and that the truck had definitely taken a turn to go to someplace more secluded. As the boys entered the compound, they saw several rows of houses and the lights were on. Now here, we see that light signifies safety. As soon as they see the lights in the houses, they look out onto the patio and see boys their age, 15 and above, sat on the verandas. A sense of relief brushes through my mind. They have children like us here too. So this last part shows that the boys are relieved to have kids the other age at the camp with them, to show them that they are not in a sense of danger. So the light prevails over the dark. All in all, we can conclude that Ismail Beha uses the two objects, light and dark, to show a significance and connection between safety and danger. Thank you for tuning in this week to Late Night Stories with Evan Mao. I'm your host. Have a good night.